Let me ask you something. How old do you want to be when you're still on stage performing music? Don't get caught up in whether you're playing stadiums or bars. That doesn't really matter. I'm asking, how long do you want to keep doing what you love? Until you're 50, 60, 70, 80? Now, wouldn't you do anything to make sure that you get there? Still performing well, still healthy, still sharp, and most importantly, still hearing? There's a habit I see all the time, especially in singers and front people, and even some instrumentalists. It's common, it's easy to justify, but it's slowly wrecking your ability to ever make it to that age doing what you love. This isn't about winning an argument or shaming anyone. This is about protecting your future as a performer, because once your hearing is gone, it's gone. The habit? It is... Let me try that again. The habit? It is taking one in-ear out. Welcome to Mixing Pixels, where we teach audio through video. Today, we will take a deep dive into the issue of using only one in-ear monitor or taking it out constantly during a performance. Now, this issue seems to be more prominent among singers, some guitar players as well. But drummers and bass players and keyboard players seem to be more at peace with this. Today, we'll discuss common excuses for this issue, and we'll show you what actually happens when you do one-ear monitoring. We might come across a bit harsh at times, but here at Mixing Pixels, we consider that when it comes to protecting your hearing, there shouldn't be any concessions, any compromises, or half measures. But protecting your hearing is not the only reason why you shouldn't take one in-ear out during a show. It undermines and affects your listening experience, and with that, your performance. But let's take a closer look at all this, shall we? Let's get started with the most common excuses that I've heard from amateurs to pro musicians and singers. My favorite singer or musician does it, so if they perform like this every night around the world, then it is okay for me to do it. I take one out because I want to hear better. I take one out because I want to connect with the audience. Said by a front person with the loudest mic in the room. It's the best of both worlds. Nice mix in one ear and the venue noise on the other. This is a good one. It's what I've always done, so stop pestering me. Okay. Let's do one from our friends, the guitar players. I really need to hear my amp. Even though your legs are the ones listening to your amp? Interestingly enough, these are the same people that sing out of tune constantly during a performance, miss cues from the MD or from the click and tracks they're using, end up singing when they're not supposed to, and don't sing when they should, are constantly complaining about their mix. It's the pack, it's the overall mix, it's the in-ear monitors. There seems to always be something wrong every time they perform. Blast everything in their ears and it's never enough volume, even though their in-ear system is always in red. Ask for a floor monitor during a show. Test their mic doing this. 1, 2, 3, testing. No. You don't test your mic like this. Not even the sound engineers test the mic like this. For the love of God, sing. I could sit here and judge you all day in my heart as I watch you take one in-ear out. But instead of that, I will explain exactly what happens when you pull this stunt. Then you can judge me all you want. I won't be able to hear you because I will have both of my in-ears in. Here's what actually happens. You are damaging your hearing. This and only this reason should be enough for you to stop pulling this stunt. Period. You think audio engineers and tech guys are always exaggerating when we talk about this issue. Okay, don't believe us. How about next time you go to an audiologist, you tell them exactly this. I work, or it is my hobby, to be in loud environments where the volume goes from 90 to 110 dBs, and I protect only one ear because that way I feel more connected to that environment. Please, let me know how that goes with your audiologist. By the way, when was the last time you went to an audiologist? Never? 10 years ago? Do you think that has to do with your I can't hear this and that you always say? No? Okay, let's continue. And so far, I've been only talking about what's happening in your ear that is not protected. But what usually ends up happening is that because it is so loud in the one ear, you increase the volume on the one with the in-ear to compensate. And now you've gotten yourself in the perfect storm to damage your hearing. You end up frustrated, you don't sound great. Actually, you're out of tune. You blame the sound engineer and you go home and wonder, what could possibly have gone wrong? And why are my ears ringing? Unbalanced sound. Remember one thing, we don't hear things mono. We hear them, well, I can't say stereo because we got one comment in one of our videos saying that we don't hear stereo. We hear binaurally that. We hear stereo. Both of our ears are at work all the time to give us information about the environment we're in. Based on what we hear, we make decisions. Going back to a performance where you are playing a great song and it is a pub or a bar or a place that acoustically you shouldn't have a live band in. You have a decent mix in your left ear with the band giving you the pulse, the rhythm, the speed of the song. On the other hand, or ear, no in-ear monitor with all the bleed from the cymbals, the guitar amp, the bass amp, people screaming and excited. Well, hopefully. Sounds, delays, all bouncing off walls and going back to that one ear. Info in one ear, different info on the other. Something that sounds like this. Wow, it's like your brain is hearing a story in one ear and the twisted gossip version of the same story in the other ear. No wonder you're so tired after a gig. No wonder you're out of tune. No wonder you missed that cue and didn't start the second verse on that song. And no wonder you're losing your hearing quickly and surely. And sadly, people will stop calling and hiring a singer who's out of tune, missing cues, and losing their hearing. Special sounds. If you're in a band playing with click, tracks, and cues, yes, dear dinosaurs, a lot of bands in the world, including your favorite bands, play shows with click, tracks, and cues. You just don't know it yet. Anyway, back to our point. If you're in a band playing shows with click, tracks, and cues, and you take one in-ear out, remember, your mic is probably the loudest thing in the room. It picks up your voice and anything close to you, including your in-ear monitor hanging from your shoulder. And this could happen.
Verso, dos, tres,
especially in soft and quiet songs. And that sound is not very pleasant for your audience. It's actually terrible. I've seen this happen in all kinds of venues, including houses of worship or churches. We are a metal band. We don't have quiet songs. See, that's why you don't play with click and tracks and cues. You don't cheat. Or
you can put the other in-ear inside your shirt so nothing bleeds into the mic.
And some other things that I couldn't hear because I put both of my in-ears back on. Really? Did I hear right? You paid a few hundreds, if not a few thousand of dollars or euros for a pair of in-ear monitors to just use one? Actually, I've heard of people using one and cutting the other one. You are literally missing out. My hope is that if you're using in-ear monitors, that you are using them at its full capacity. That means stereo, not at full volume, okay? When you use a stereo mix, you can pan things to your left and to your right opening up the sound spectrum for your voice to sit right in the middle and on top of the band. Here's how you're missing out when you take one in-ear out. First, let's say you're in a band with two guitar players. You most likely have one in your left ear and the other one in your right ear. If you take one in-ear out, you're literally missing out from the full sound of the band. All that nice stereo sounds from your keys, well, you're getting half of that. If toms are panned, you're missing some of them in your mix. Bum, bum. Do you get the point? But regardless if your mix is mono or stereo, the same concept applies. Second, let's say that your band is using click, tracks, and cues. Because your brain is overloaded with two different kinds of information, there will be a moment where you won't hear that cue for the bridge or for the guitar solo. Or you won't hear the count for the next song, and you will mess up, making you look unprepared and not very professional. Okay, you're not using click, tracks, and cues. But let's say you're using an MD, a musical director, and you are working the crowd, repeating one chorus again and again, and then the MD tells you in your ear, you're going back big again, or you're going down, but you don't hear that because your brain is overloaded. Then you miss out and mess up. So what do we do now that you have heard me talk about some of the things that happens when you're not using both in-ears at all times? What is the solution? Simple. Use both. Here's some more solutions that you can look at. Work on your mix, whether it is by yourself or with your sound engineer. Chances are that it is bad, and that's why you're doing that, taking one in-ear out. We actually have a video about how to make your own in-ear mix. Maybe check that out. Insist on having crowd or room mics. It is very easy to set them up. We actually have a video about that too. If the band and the sound engineer are busy doing other things, offer to set them up yourself. Why not? You will benefit from it a whole lot. Practice, rehearse, get yourself comfortable with it. Force yourself to use both in-ears during the rehearsal and see how that goes. It will take some time, but I can guarantee it's worth it. Remind yourself how important your hearing is. Set up an appointment with an audiologist. Don't think,
Nah, I don't need that. My hearing is fine.
So let me ask you one last time. How old do you want to be when you're still stepping up on stage doing what you love? Whatever age you just pictured, this habit, it's standing in your way. Let it go today. You're not just protecting your hearing. You're investing in your future, in your longevity, in your craft. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments or reach out directly. We're here to help. This one change could make you a better performer, a better teammate, and most importantly, a musician who is still hearing and still thriving decades from now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to send this video to someone who keeps yanking one in-ear out during a show. And as always, great sound is always within your reach, especially when you use two in-ears.